Hi, I'm Parisa. I'm an exchange student at UC Berkeley's SCET Startup Semester Program. I originally come from Thailand. I study at Chulalongkorn University's BASI or CSAI program, and that is where I met my interviewee. Her name is Gail. She's my senior, and she is a very impressive entrepreneur. So now I'll pass my mic to her so that she can introduce herself and her business.
Okay, hi, my name is Gail, and I'm the founder of Gail's Jewelry. So it's a jewelry brand that creates like thoughtfully designed pieces where people can connect and wear every day. Now we currently sell 9K gold and 9 to 5 sterling silver.
Now I'm curious, what's your role in the company and what do you do?
I'm like the chief everything officer. So as a founder, I oversee like the both the creative and the business sides of the brand. So I'm involved like almost in every process from concept development, product design, marketing, to like coordinating with production. So on the creative side, I would work on like collection concepts with my art director and oversee styling and brand storytelling. And on the business side, I would focus on like product strategy, marketing, and understanding what customers respond to.
I see. I think that's a very challenging role to take on. So, like, what factors in your background has led to you starting your own company? And tell me a little bit more about your passion. Yeah.
I grew up around the jewelry industry because my family does jewelry OEM, which means like we export jewelry to many countries in the world for jewelry brands. Since that, I have been exposed to a lot of craft from a young age. And at the same time, I've always been into arts. When I was a teenage, I became more interested in fashion. So I naturally became more curious about how I could use my resource that I have from my family to create my own brand.
Can you tell me the value proposition of your company?
My value proposition of Gil's Jewelry is to create like jewelry that feels personal, wearable, and emotionally connected. So many jewelry brands, you can see that they either focus on like luxury pieces or mass-produced design. But my approach is to create concept-driven collections that feel relatable and expressive, so customers can find pieces that match their personality and everyday style.
And what was the pain point at first, or what was the problem space that you were going into?
My brand has shifted a lot because we started selling 9K gold with diamonds. We saw the gap that like there wasn't like a lot of jewelry brands that had like gold designs that you can wear every day. So that was like the point that we want to touch on. But then with the economy in Thailand and the price of gold has been increasing exponentially. So we adapted a bit and started our silver line. So that was when we started focusing more on like concept-driven collections.
That's a very interesting problem space. And so, how did you approach that problem, and what was your initial solution? Mhm.
Currently, we've been testing ideas and learning directly from our customers because I feel like working in this field for around like 4 years, 5 years, I would say that Thai customers have a very distinct taste and style from other nationalities. So instead of just like following trends, we experiment with different concepts and see what resonates with our audience through like feedbacks, engagement, and sales. For example, we launched Between a Needle, which is like a collection that we were inspired from sewing kit, safety pin, buttons, and scissors. And this collection focuses on storytelling and a strong concept. And the response from customers was very positive, and sales increased by more than like 100% within 1 month after the launch. So
Mhm.
this approach really helped me like understand better what customers truly like and allow us to keep improving our designs.
So you're very like customer centric and you create like really unique pieces that you don't see a lot in the market. There's so many jewelry brands in Thailand or in the market in the world. What do you think is like differentiation point and what is your competitive advantage?
Our differentiation comes from combining design storytelling, a close understanding of our customer's style. So I want to position my brand as like a woman who is fashionable and want to be fashionable in every day, in every occasion. So
Mm.
instead of like just designing jewelry purely based on trends, we focus more on like creating concept-driven collections that people can emotionally connect with the brand and with the storytelling. Another important competitive advantage is that I come from a family involved in jewelry manufacturing, which I have a lot of resources, which gives us like a deeper understanding of the production process and allow me to work closely with the manufacturers to develop designs more efficiently and maintain quality. Because of that, we are more flexible to experiment with different designs and test new ideas quickly and bring products to market faster than small jewelry brands. Yeah.
I think that's a very smart move of you. I want to know, to be where you are today, what was your business model and go-to-market strategy?
I have been working on more on like collaborations. I started out with collabing with a really well-known artist in Thailand. She's called Give Me Museum. And then I started contacting another business, which is like a photo booth. We created like photo frames on jewelries. So that was another one that really had a lot of engagement. That is one of the go-to market strategy I've been using a lot recently.
And what would you say are like the top two factors that made your venture succeed?
Honestly, I don't feel like my venture has fully succeeded yet, but like I still see it as like a work in progress. But if I look back when I first started, I would say I've definitely reached a lot of my milestones that I didn't expect it. The two important factors that really help is like first is understanding the customer because I spend a lot of time paying attention to what our audience likes, look through feedbacks and reviews. Second one is being able to adapt quickly because like when you run a very small brand, you have to be very agile. You got to test ideas and learn from what works and like what doesn't and improve along the way.
From owning a company and handling everything so well, I want to know like what are the lessons you learned and also what kind of business tips would you give to younger entrepreneurs?
One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that you don't need to be perfect before you start. But I've realized that like you actually learn the most by taking action and you improve along the way. Waiting for the perfect moment can sometimes stop you from starting at all. So might just as well take an action. Most importantly is to not give up. You gotta like hustle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very good advice. Now, I know being a business owner is definitely not easy, like you said. And so I want to know what's the hardest thing about being like an owner or a founder.
You gotta do many things at the same time and constantly making decisions. You gotta know how everything works because you gotta oversee the whole entire thing. And another challenge currently is that I'm still a student, so I have to balance like studying and running the business at the same time and spending like my teenage years. So this requires a lot of like my time management and discipline. But at the same time, that challenge is also what makes the experience very rewarding. Entrepreneurship is less about having a perfect idea and more about having the courage to start and keep improving. Success doesn't happen overnight. It comes from like learning, experimenting. Staying persistent is very important for me, even when things don't go as planned.
Thank you so much. That was very valuable insights. And I think many young entrepreneurs will really learn from your experience. So thank you.